All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the men of the Lord that are prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and truth. Shalom, Barakathum, and it's your brother Yara, man, coming back at you with another lesson in prophecy, man. We're going to deal with the basically a reminder of how low level the so-called American population is, and this is just another reason to withdraw from this place, and to remember as an exhortation too, man, that we're better than these people, man. You know, that's quote unquote bad to say, but we are. You know, we didn't create ourselves; the Most High created us, and if the Lord said that we're the greatest people on the face of the planet, then we are, man. You know, and it shows you the power of the witchcraft of this place. Why? Because that those same people, when you put them in this spell of America, they actually become the worst. This woman you see on the screen here, these people are backwards, man. They're all into voting and politics and soaking up shit that's in the media. Ridiculous, man. They're out of control. All right, but let's play some of this video and we got some precepts lined up.
Like if you are white and you know this is happening.
So this guy, you can see here, he's got the right look, you know, because this is how our people normally look. But watch how backwards and reprobate these people are, though.
You say nothing, then you're a killer too.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Insecurity, pretending,
fear, being fearful of nothing,
being ignorant,
Blame.
So if you heard the question, it says, what are white people superior at? And see, Jake, he's got all the right answers, showing you that these niggas know, man. But watch, just keep watching.
Letting their egos control their every move. Superior at being dicks.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Oppression, gaslighting,
lack of empathy.
intellectualizing oppression.
Did I say oppression?
What exactly are white people superior at?
Taking what's not there, taking shit.
Taking our ideas.
Copycatting.
Gentrification.
Appropriating things that do not belong to them.
Taking over other people's cultures and making you believe that they invented it.
Maybe they're thinking of it as repurposing. It's like recycle and repurpose.
As my grandma would say, them white folk, they'll take it if you don't copyright it.
They are very good at destruction of land, destruction of people, destruction of humanness.
Republican, whether you're Democrat, whether you're conservative, like white people are really good at upholding white supremacy.
How about claiming that, you know, they are actually a whole separate race, when actually white DNA comes from the black female?
So what exactly are white people?
Through.
Honey, lying, stealing, and cheating. Manipulation.
Withholding information.
Lying.
telling lies.
All right, so you heard that now, right? Just fast forward past this guy. This guy's a good channel, by the way. I watch a lot of his clips. So you heard what they had to say about Esau Edom, showing you that they know, because we've been on the street corners for how long? You know, telling you who this guy is, that he's the devil, that the spirit that's in him is not upright. That's written, man. All right? I'm going to get that real quick, actually. You know, you don't want to go too long without having some precepts in here. The spirit is not upright. Habakkuk, Salakia. Nope, that's Nahum. Habakkuk 2. And 4, okay, it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Now, who is he talking about, man? Now, when you read the rest of this, read verse 5, you can see, and you can put the pieces together. It's not going to say the white man in the Bible. It's not going to say white people. And sometimes it won't even say Esau, but when you read the other prophecies, you piece it together, who would be in rulership in the end times? The scriptures say that Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we know, and then you can see all the characteristics, the things that we know about the so-called white man. All right? These fit him to a T perfectly, man. All right? It says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, either keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death. And they spoke about it. He's a destroyer of land. He's good at oppression. All right. He takes things that aren't his. You see, they had all the right answers. It says, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So we know who that is, right? But watch. Now, this woman here is out there asking these young guys and these Americans, and you know Jake is part of this too. She's asking them who they're going to vote for in Texas. It says, I didn't read this before earlier, those who desire to be ignorant and free desires what never was and never will be. Okay, I guess that's a Thomas Jefferson quote. But watch.
For governor, Beto versus Abbott, who are we voting for?
Probably Beto.
Beto.
How come?
The abortion stuff.
I'm pretty like socialist democratic, so I've always supported Democratic candidate. Honestly, I just want to push for Texas to be blue.
I'm an out-of-state student.
So you see that? They just want Texas to be blue. Do you see the witchcraft of this place? Esau created the left and the right, the red versus the blue, the conservative versus, you see? And now this guy, he doesn't have, there's no code, there's no principles, there's no morality behind who they put their vote behind. They're just voting for a team. Do you see the witchcraft, how they got these people through, man? You see? I just vote for whoever's blue. But what the fuck does that mean? You see? But they know, and they do this on a global scale. All right. Now it's mainly prominent here in America, but this democracy shit is getting spread everywhere, man. There are left and right parties all throughout Europe. They're spreading them in other countries too, man. You know, in South America as well too. But notice he said, I'm just voting for whoever's blue. He doesn't know anything about the people, about the candidate, what they're going to do. And it's all controlled anyway. All of this politics bullshit is all theater.
Democratic, so I've always supported Democratic candidate. Honestly, I just want to push for Texas to be blue.
I'm an out-of-state student, but I do plan on voting for Beto, so yeah.
Yeah, same here. How come you guys want to vote for Beto? Talk to me about it. Just like one thing you guys like about Beto?
Nothing. Through. Keisha's out here through, man. Got on the conservative clothes. I guess that's the hijab. I guess they're Muslims. Don't even know why the hell. This is Isaiah 30:1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin unto sin. They want people empowered that's going to help them feel better about themselves. It has nothing about doing the right thing. It has nothing about promoting the ways of life. It has nothing about serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right? Or even their idea of God. They don't even serve their idea of God. They'll be a Muslim. They're not voting in the principles of Allah or Islam. They're not even voting in that. You see, there's something very wicked about this place, man. Jake, y'all gotta wake up out of this shit. And these are the average women that you're encountering, that you're walking by every single day. The same women that think they're better than you have no ability to think for themselves. They don't even realize the things that they believe was forced on them. They don't even realize their thoughts aren't even their own thoughts. They're unoriginal. They're mimicked. You read this on TV or saw this on TV, Salaki, not read. Or you read a headline. People don't even open news articles anymore on their phone. They just read the notification and dismiss it. All right. But verse 2, it says that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked in my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt, which we know of Egypt is spiritually America. All right. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame and the trust in the shadow of Egypt be your confusion. So you guys deserve what's coming to you next, man. Point blank, period. All right. I'm going to skip over to Isaiah 32. Maybe I'll go back to this. But this is Isaiah 32. I saw at verse 5. It says, the vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. There's come a time where these so-called liberals that you think is so good and peaceful, and you just doing it because you hate, Donald Trump or whatever bullshit you make up in your mind is not rooted in prophecy or scripture or anything righteous. All right, well, that person is going to be found, all right, to be a vile person. That's a churl. All right, when you look up what a churl is, I'm gonna get it real quick. Basically, a scoundrel, a low-life individual, man. Yeah, scoundrel, knave. See? A lowlife. Unscrupulous, I should say. Verse 6, it says, for the vile person will speak villainy. Aren't he saying you have to use pronouns? Isn't he telling you you can't tell the world who your real identity is? I'm alluding to Kanye. Okay? Isn't he telling you that you're canceled if you don't go with a certain narrative? All right. It says, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy. All right. Because he's saying don't be hateful. That's hate speech. But what are his actions showing? All right. Why do you have to walk on eggshells around a routine traffic stop from a police officer? Huh? Because Esau is ready to blow your ass away, man. It says, and to utter error against the Lord Jehovah, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail, and famine and widespread distress is coming, man. The scripture said there's going to be a great insurrection among men, all right? Verse 7, the instruments of the church are evil, Democrats, Republicans, all right? The news media. Okay, social media, that's a major instrument, man, that it's evil, man. All right, it says he deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, man. And the poor are talking about the elect here, all right? It's not talking about every single Jake, because you niggas are not right either, man. Matter of fact, you're the ones I'm talking about the most. All right, it says, even when the needy speaketh right, it says, but the liberal deviseth liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. All right? Main point I want to get down to, rise up, verse 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease, and hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days ye shall be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail and shall not come. So these idiots, going back to these two, don't even know what they're doing.
Just like one thing you guys like about Beto. You're really...
they think shit is funny, man. But pretty soon, there's going to be men out here, all right, that's had it on their spirit the whole time. Like they say, I got it on my mind. They used to say that back in the day. I got it on my mind. They got people out here that got it on their mind, man. That's ready. When 911 goes down, all right, when these things that are holding this society together crumble, they're waiting on people like you, man.
Excited about Beto. You want to vote for him for governor. Talk to me about why that is.
I've again, I haven't brushed up before this particular thing. I like Beto.
But you will be voting for him for governor for the 2022 midterms.
Yes, absolutely.
Voting for a man, he don't even know what the hell. These, I want to call him a F word, but it's YouTube. But these people are backwards, man. Very low level, man. And you got women that will actually think these people are above you. They'll give these people more credence and the benefit of the doubt in society than the men of the Lord that are trying to warn you of these things. All right?
Absolutely.
Are you planning on voting at all in the 2022 midterms?
Yes.
Who do you plan on voting for?
Beto.
How come?
I love Beto. I don't know anything about politics. I'm sorry.
Give me one of his policies that you like the most that has led you to want to vote for him.
Oh, shoot. I'm not into politics. I'm not going to lie.
See, fellas, this is why, this woman, she's a good-looking young woman, right? But this is why, guys, y'all got to get it out of your head that these women are better than you, man. Just because a woman look good don't mean she better. These people are they're the lowest of the low, man. If this is an Israelite, she's the lowest of all of the Israel, man. It goes to 144,000. Then it's the 1/3 elect. All right. Then it's the rest of these niggas, man. All right. Completely through, done. She when all hell breaks loose, who do you think she's gonna turn to? You think she's gonna be able to call Beto, this guy that's trying to vote for governor?
I don't know anything.
Beto.
How come?
Because I lean slightly Democratic.
What is that big policy that Beto has put forth that you really like that captured your attention?
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
No?
No.
Musa gonna smoke you niggas, man. He's gonna smoke you niggas. Every last one of you that turned your back on the truth, that know that you're an Israelite, that have walked by the men of the Lord. All right? The Lord got something for you, man. Because we're at the time now where the prophecies are more than speaking, man. They're jumping off the pages, man. They're basically evident at this point. It's to the point now to where if you still this sleep, you probably not gonna make it. You know? The elect are very, very close to being sealed, like the brother said on the video, our elder. The elect are basically sealed, man, if they're not already sealed. You see?
Like, I'm not like the most political person on earth.
What would you say to people who say Beto O'Rourke wants to take away gun rights from Texans? You know, Texas is big on guns. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't really care about guns, to be honest. So, like, it doesn't really affect me.
So if the governor decides no more guns in Texas, Beto decides that you'd be all for it?
I mean, yeah, sure.
I come from a very Hispanic family, and I know there's like a lot of prejudice against other candidates still, but I guess it's more like a family thing.
Have you looked into Beto personally at all before voting for him?
No, I haven't. I'm not very aware of political standards right now, but...
It begs the question, how did Esau get all of these people to vote who don't even know about politics? You see? You can't even that's why you need the brotherhood, man. You don't need it, but if you don't have it, the spirit of the Lord really has to rest on you, man, because you can't have conversations with regular everyday people, all right, without faking the funk, you know? You got to like suffer people in conversation, man. You can't have a real authentic conversation. The only time you have it is or brothers that are in the truth. These people are completely through, out of there, man. I'm going to get another precept real quick while I'm thinking of it. Isaiah 66:4. It says, I also will choose their delusions, and I will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear. All right? The Lord said he's going to choose your delusions. All right? That's why y'all believe in this bullshit. And the thing that you fear the most, the Lord is going to put that on your ass, man. All right? It says, but they did evil before mine eyes and chose that in which I delighted not. You chose, all right, to be in politics, and you don't even know what the hell it is, man. So what's got to come next?
I will take a look at it.
But you will be voting for him?
Yes.
State sponsor of
Wow.
terrorism is a term of U.S. law. It just...
Now this is switching gears. This, and she might be a Jake, because you got to remember she's from the area of Ireland, all right. But they have a voice over there in the EU because they're part of the UK. Now Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, along with England, all makes up Great Britain, which is or what's known today as the United Kingdom. Okay, but you got to remember they were all three separate people. Remember the Scots were different, the Irish were different, and the English, which were formerly the Anglo-Saxons, they were all different people. And Esau took over different parts of it at different points. Ireland being the last. The Jakes were in Ireland and Scotland the longest before Esau took over. All right. So she might be a Jake, but watch what she's going in on. She's got a fiery spirit in her, man. You know?
U.S. law, it doesn't exist in sponsor of terrorism is a term of U.S. law. It doesn't exist in EU law. But a Zelensky advisor called for it in the Parliament magazine, and here we are again reporting for duty. And all it will do is make peace harder to achieve. Exactly, of course, what the extremists want. No peace, No off-ramps, all bridges burning, and Ukraine a permanent abattoir in a suicidal holy crusade against Russia. So, if you want to start naming state sponsors of terrorism, let's do it. European sponsorship of Israeli terrorism in Palestine.
Uh-oh.
Western sponsorship of Saudi terror in Yemen. ISIS, the product of French, American, British, Turkish and Gulf sponsorship in Syria and Iraq.
Notice all of the nations that she's naming under these quote unquote T words, you know, that back groups like ISIS and all that. They're all Edomites. They're all Edomite nations. You're the real T word of the earth, man. All right? You're the problem of the planet Earth. Okay? And the world is starting to see it on the world stage, man.
Decades of right-wing US-backed terrorism against the Cuban Revolution, the Contras in Nicaragua.
Notice who who she's naming now, the countries that were oppressed. What nations are those? What nation is in Cuba? All right? What nation is in Nicaragua? Guatemala, Salvador. That's Jake down there, man.
Squads in Guatemala, in El Salvador. Remember Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia.
And that area in Vietnam, Laos, down there, a lot of that's Moab, and you have a lot of Elamites and Moabites in that region, that South Asian region, but a lot of Jakes went down there too, man. A lot of them, those darker skinned Moabite looking peoples, a lot of those are Jakes. There are a lot of Jakes in Indonesia as well, a lot of Jakes in Philippines. All right, you got to remember, they're not gonna be as easy to identify as you know, a 6 foot dark skinned Jake with an afro, right? But the scriptures speak about the markers being there. They would be the most oppressed. All right, they would be high in population. Those countries have high in population, man. Indonesia is one of the most populated countries in the Indian Ocean, man. I'm looking up the population of Indonesia. Salaki, I'm going on a little rant here. All right. 273 million people, man. That's close to America. You see? They got twice as many people as Japan has in there, man. You know? And what is Issachar and other Northern Kingdom tribes as well as Jake known for, man? Massively populating, man. What happened when we were in Egypt under oppression, living dirt poor, man? We were having more babies. You see? So there's ways to see what's going on here in the terror of Esau, man.
Horror after horror, terror after terror. There's nothing constructive about the pot calling the kettle black. Would he ever cop on, start championing peace, and enter the war which is patently in the interests of EU, Ukrainian, and Russian citizens?
I'm 3 weeks into a job.
Wow, and that pot calling the kettle black thing, that was very spiritual how she said that. Because if you know how that saying goes, a kettle is metal and reflective. All right? And the pot, a pot is metal and reflective. And the kettle is black, but it's looking at its own reflection. You see? Esau did that to us. He called us the so-called black people, which was associated with death and void of life. That's what he called us, but really, he was projecting, man. That's what he is. Really, he is spiritually the black person, man. Spiritually, he's the blacks. They're the blacks, spiritually speaking. You see? But that label got put on us. Why? As another means to destroy us, man. All right? This is Micah chapter 6. Man, I like this chapter. It says, I'll start at verse 9. It says, the Lord Yahweh's voice crieth unto the city, and the man of wisdom shall see thy name. Hear ye the rod, and who hath appointed it? All right. And the voices of the Lord is crying unto the city. That's to this day. All right. It says, are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and the scant measure that is abominable? All right. So he's balling right now. He's got the fatness of the earth, as was promised to him. When you read Genesis 25th chapter, you see Esau got that blessing from Isaac, but it was prophesied that Jacob would be the latter ruler, and he would get all those things, man. All right. He's the true inheritor of Isaac's inheritance, man. Who is Yahweh Shai, by the way, through the Spirit. All right. Verse 11, it says, shall I count them pure with the wicked balances and with the bag of deceitful weights? Because Esau got deceitful weights, man. He's got a U.S. currency, a dollar, that he can print as much as he wants into oblivion, and he's using that to sanction people. He's using that to control other economies. He's using that to pick winners and losers all over the planet Earth. If you're not with his agenda, you see, you don't get military funding if you're getting invaded, and he'll be the nigga that started the invasion. He'll fund it through the CIA. He does all kind of wickedness, man. All right. Verse 12, the main point: for the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. All right. That's Esau Edom, man. And it doesn't matter where on the planet he is, whether it be Europe or Australia or America or South Africa, he's the wicked. All right. It says, verse 13, therefore also will I make thee sick in smiting thee, and making thee desolate because of thy sins. Thou shalt eat but not be satisfied, and thy casting down shall be in the midst of thee. And thou shalt take hold, but shalt not deliver. And that which thou deliverest will I give up to the sword, man. All right? That's what's coming to this guy, man. But anyway.
Full gut. 3 days in a row, not one motherfucker showed up for work. I don't care if I pay them 15. I don't give a fuck if I give them 25 or 40. People do not want to work. I don't bitch. I don't complain. I got a fully stocked trailer sitting over there with every tool that you can possibly imagine. I buy tools for them. They either have no driver's license, 20 minutes too far to drive. I've even heard the excuse, well, I've got to go home and plan a baby shower, from a grown-ass man. I've worked all over the United States. I've done every kind of construction, remodeling, commercial, residential there is.
Through, man.
And this is the worst I've ever fucking seen it.
Through.
15 years of busted my ass. It's fixing to go down the fucking drain.
Yeah, man. He's right. Cause that whole 2020 situation, all right, that put a spirit on people, man. A lot of people were out of work. A lot of people got done bad, man. All right. And a lot of people was getting those stimmies, and they got used to just now. They realized the rat race that they're in. See, for a second, especially when there wasn't no food in the stores, the witchcraft of this place, that spell wore off for a split second. And it had an effect on people, man. And then you had a bunch of people get lulled back into taking that juice. All right? And they ain't been right since, man. You see? But this is all prophesied, man. I'm going to go to James, the 5th chapter on that one real quick. Didn't plan on making this too long, but, you know, here's what it is. This is James 5. And start at 2. It says, your riches. Start at 1, I guess. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. All right. It's just talking about Esau's nations as a whole. You're starting to see these economies collapse. You're starting to see the real value of this currency be realized, which it hasn't been worth anything since it wasn't backed by gold. All right. And that was way back in the 70s, man. All right. And even then it was declining. All right. So we're starting to see this American economy for what it is, which is a giant Ponzi scheme. Verse 3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them that shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days, because Esau's got all the real assets. All of the gold, man, he's hoarded that, man. He's like, I'm not backing this by currency. Because when it was backed by currency, the banks would hold it in their respective areas. If you had a credit union or a local bank, you know, banks are set up and fortified with all of those vaults and everything. Why are they set up that way? To hold real things, precious metals. All right, precious things, safety deposit boxes, you know, family heirlooms and all of that things people would store at banks that were worth a lot of money. And that's why the banks used to be physical buildings where they would hold these precious things, right? But now what have banks become? They're basically, they've become office buildings, because all of the value now is just printed digitally now, man. You know, if Esau gets robbed, if a bank gets robbed for $10 million, banks have something called insurance. That money gets put right back in. Esau can just, with a keystroke, can put $10 million back into your account. All right. Now, that wouldn't be the case if there was actual gold bars in these banks. If there was actual silver, if there was actual things of sustenance, man, things, precious commodities, you know. But it's not, because Esau is heaped it together. They're not in banks anymore. Esau at the very tippy top, the elites, they have stored all this wealth. They've been storing it. That's why they give you this bullshit fiat currency. All right. While they're gathering together real assets, they have the deeds of land in their name. All right. They have weapons. All right. They have the means to real wealth, not this paper money. All right. But this is the main point, verse 4, from what this guy was talking about. It says, behold, the hire of laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, man. All right? People are crying out, man. Now, this is ultimately focused on the elect, but, you know, you got to remember, Jake is the canary in the coal mine. What's happening to us, it always happens, the bad things that happen to us, it always happens to us first, and then eventually it makes its way to Esau. Because what happened in the 80s, man, when they had the crack epidemic? Esau wasn't worried about it. He came up with dare, just say no, all these bullshit slogans and schemes. And then 20 years later, what happened? The opioid epidemic. You see? So these people, now it's applying to Esau. All right? It says, and the cries of them which have reaped down are entered into the ears of the Lord Sabaoth. And the Lord is only going to hear the elect, by the way. All right? Verse 5, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Because Esau's got more than he can ever want, man. More than he can do with. More money and wealth than he knows what to do with. And yet here he is, still out here trying to rob people, man.
Sad fucking country we live in.
We see risks to inflation, and we are taking those into account, and we want to make sure that prices remain as stable as possible in the United States.
But how can you do this and pursue this, the policy you have, without further weakening the dollar? There's a dollar crisis out there, and people's money is being stolen. People who have saved, they're being robbed.
But you're mistaken in saying that the Federal Reserve has spent any money. You say $5 trillion. We have lent money. We have purchased securities. That's not buying. That's not dissipating, you know, the money. We've gotten all the money back.
I hate to interrupt, but my time is about up. But I would like to suggest that you say it's not spending money. Well, it's money out of thin air. You put it into the market and you hold assets, and the assets aren't, you know, they are diminishing in value when you buy up bad assets.
Credit to.
Did you catch that witchcraft that they tried to spin on you, man? And see, this finance stuff, it gets a lot of people confused, man. But when you look into it, you basically see that he's robbing everybody. He's robbing everybody. He's robbing the shit out of everybody. Every physical asset you get that you purchase with a US dollar, the person that's receiving the asset, ultimately he wins if it's a long-term appreciating asset. You win. You holding US dollars, it's like a game of hot potato. The last person holding the bag when this thing crashes is gonna be fucked. And that's what's gonna cause this new Web3 digital cryptocurrency CBDC, that's what's going to cause that World War III to happen, man. Because there's a lot of U.S. dollars being held by these other countries in the form of debt. Okay. And it's going to destroy economies if they don't play ball with the beast. You see, but watch what he said.
It's about up. But I would like to suggest that you say it's not spending money. What?
And saying that the Federal Reserve has spent any money.
People's money.
But you're mistaken in saying that the Federal Reserve has spent any money. You say $5 trillion. We have lent money. We have purchased securities. That's not buying. That's not dissipating. The money. We've gotten all the money back.
I hate to interrupt, but my time is about up. But I would like to suggest.
Notice, okay, this is Ben Bernanke, bro. He was the chairman of the Fed during the great financial crisis in 2008. All right, and he was there through I forget when he left, maybe like 2013 or something like that. And then they got Janet Yellen in there, and now it's Jerome Powell. But he said we didn't spend any money. All right, now he said we loaned out money. See, that's that witchcraft that Esau speaks, man. If you loan out money to buy an asset that you know is going to depreciate, that means you're spending the money. You see, because you know you're about to lose the money. When you spend money, that money, you've lost that money. Okay? Now you're supposed to get something in return for it, but what they got for it, he knew that they were going to depreciate. This is alluding to these, when you look up 2008 crisis, there was something called mortgage-backed securities. Right. And that's basically what caused the whole thing to collapse. They found out that these assets that they overvalued over years and years and years were actually worth nothing, basically, damn near nothing. They were a bunch of loans that people were defaulting on and going delinquent. And so when the markets found these out, the prices of them dropped drastically, very rapidly. That's what caused the crash because of how many of these were being held. Now, the Fed, this guy, under his policy, they bought those assets that were crashing so the banks could get bailed out. So they bought them off the bank. Instead of bailing out the people that were losing their homes, they bailed out the banks instead. You see? So this guy, the whole thing is just gotta go, man. It's gotta go, the whole thing, Let me go. I don't want to go. Yes, that's basically it on that, man. I'm gonna get this last precept and call it. This is Proverbs 11 and 1. It says, "A false balance is an abomination to the Lord Yahweh, but a just weight is His delight." Man, so that's how you know how the Most High feels about this whole place. For you reparations guys, we want $1 trillion. Like, you know how much money we made Esau over the years, man. You guys are low level, man. But anyway, hopefully you brothers were edified with that. I'll call it, man. Call halal Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rachak Wadash, Wa Abba Babal, and Shalom.